Chapter 6 Letters and Legacies. The autumn chill had settled over Hogwarts, painting the grounds in shades of gold and crimson. Albus sat by the lake, a piece of parchment on his lap and a quill in his hand. He had been trying to write to his father for days, but the right words seemed to elude him. "Still working on that letter?" Scorpius asked, plopping down beside him. Albus sighed, running a hand through his messy black hair. "I just don't know what to say." "Dear Dad, sorry I'm a disappointment." Scorpius frowned. "You're not a disappointment, all. Just be honest with him." Taking a deep breath, Albus began to write. "Dear Dad, I hope this letter finds you well. I know we haven't talked much since the sorting, and I'm sorry for that. The truth is, I've been struggling. Being in Slytherin, being your son, it's not easy. Everyone expects me to be just like you, but I'm not. I can't fly a broom, I'm not great at defense against the dark arts, and I don't want to be the center of attention. I just want to be Albus. I've made a friend, though. Scorpius Malfoy. I know what you might think, but he's nothing like what people say about his family. He's kind and smart, and he saved my life during our first flying lesson. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to find my own path here. I hope you can understand that. Your son, Albus." As Albus tied the letter to his owl's leg, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. Whatever his father's response, at least he had been honest. The next few days passed in a blur of classes and homework. In Transfiguration, Professor Green, a stern witch who had taken over after McGonagall became headmistress, had them attempting to turn matchsticks into needles. Albus's matchstick stubbornly remained wooden, though by the end of class it had developed a slightly silvery sheen. In potions, however, Albus found himself excelling. Professor Slughorn was delighted by his intuitive understanding of ingredient interaction. "Just like your grandmother, my boy," Slughorn beamed as Albus correctly identified the uses of moonstone in potion making. "Lily was a natural at potions, you know. It seems you've inherited her talent." As they left the dungeon classroom, Rose caught up with them. "Albus, can we talk?" she asked, glancing warily at Scorpius. "Anything you want to say to me, you can say in front of Scorpius," Albus said firmly. Rose sighed. "Fine. Look, I'm worried about you. You're isolating yourself from the family hanging out with. Well, you know, people are talking." Albus felt a flare of anger. "Let them talk. Scorpius is my friend, Rose. A better friend than most of our family has been since the sorting." Rose looked hurt. "That's not fair, all. We care about you. We're just concerned." "Well, don't be," Albus snapped. "I'm fine. Come on, Scorpius." As they walked away, Scorpius spoke quietly. "You didn't have to do that, you know. I don't want to come between you and your family." Albus shook his head. "You're not. They need to accept that this is who I am now." That evening, as they sat in the Slytherin common room working on their charms essay, an owl tapped at the window. Albus recognized his father's handwriting and felt his heart race as he unrolled the parchment. "Dear Albus, thank you for your letter. I'm sorry you've been struggling, and I'm even more sorry that I didn't realize it sooner. You're right, I don't always understand what you're going through, but I want to. Being my son comes with expectations that aren't fair to you. I know that better than anyone. But Albus, you don't have to be me. You don't have to be anyone but yourself. That's more than enough. I'm glad you've found a friend in Scorpius. The Malfoys have a complicated history with our family, but that doesn't define who Scorpius is. Judge him by his actions, not his name." That's something I had to learn the hard way. As for being in Slytherin, I meant what I said on the platform. It doesn't matter to us. Slytherin House has produced great wizards, and I have no doubt you'll be one of them. Remember, the Sorting Hat wanted to put me in Slytherin too. Our choices define us more than our abilities. I'm proud of you, Albus. Not because you're my son, or because of what house you're in, but because of who you are. Keep being true to yourself. Love, Dad. P.S. Your mother sends her love and wants to know if you need any more socks. Albus read the letter twice, feeling a lump form in his throat. He passed it to Scorpius, who read it with a small smile. See? Scorpius said softly. He understands more than you thought. Before Albus could respond, a commotion at the common room entrance caught their attention. Jan Fredericks, a third year, burst in, his face pale. You'll never believe what I just heard, he gasped. There's been an attack on the Ministry of Magic. The common room erupted in chatter. Albus and Scorpius exchanged worried glances. What kind of attack? Albus demanded. Jan shook his head. Don't know the details, but they're saying it might be connected to the old Death Eaters. Some people think. Well, they think it might be the start of another war. A chill ran down Albus' spine. He thought of his father, Scorpius's father, of all the stories they'd heard about the last wizarding war. It can't be, Scorpius whispered. Not again. As the night wore on, rumors flew thick and fast. Some said it was just a prank gone wrong. Others insisted it was the work of a new dark wizard rising to power. By morning, an official statement had been released, confirming an incident at the ministry but providing few details. At breakfast, Headmistress McGonagall addressed the school. In light of recent events, she said, her voice carrying across the silent hall, I want to assure you all that Hogwarts remains safe. We do not yet know the full extent of what has occurred, but I urge you not to give in to fear or speculation. Unity and trust in one another are our greatest strengths in uncertain times. As they left the great hall, Albus noticed the worried looks, the hushed conversations. Even the teachers seemed on, for example. What do you think is really going on? He asked Scorpius. Scorpius shrugged, his face unusually serious. I don't know. But whatever it is, I have a feeling. Our parents are going to be right in the middle of it. Albus nodded, thinking of his father's letter. He had wanted to step out of Harry Potter's shadow, to forge his own path. But now, with darkness potentially rising again, would that even be possible? As they headed to their first class, Albus felt a mix of emotions swirling inside him. Fear for what might be coming, worry for his family, but also a strange sense of determination. Whatever was happening in the wizarding world, he would face it head-on, not as Harry Potter's son, but as Albus Severus Potter, Slytherin, friend of Scorpius Malfoy, and a wizard in his own right. The future might be uncertain, but Albus was beginning to realize that his place in it was up to him to define.